We are headed to the live line because Jason Smith is standing by, our U.S. Congressman. He's busy, and I want an extra minute. Hi, Jason.
Hey, Fawn, it's great to be with you.
Thanks for coming back. You know, I am so tired. I actually shut the volume off when ABC's on because I can't listen to the bull crap. I can't listen to it. I can't do it. This infighting. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I totally agree. I won't. The American people, they care about delivering items that affect their lives, and that's what our focus should be on, not on just crazy fighting.
Yeah, and I don't care if Elon Musk is mad that he's not going to get a bunch of kickbacks from the government in the big, beautiful bill. He was part of Doge to help cut. Now he's mad that one of the cuts is money that's supposed to go to him. So, wah. You know, I don't really care.
Fawn, that's been part of this process. The bill that we passed out of the House, the big, beautiful bill, this is a bill that it was the Friday before the bill ever became public. I sat down with the president for 2 hours in the Oval Office with the president, with his chief of staff, Susie Wiles, and we went through every provision of this bill, and the president's like, that's exactly what I wanted. That's right. We need to do that. This is it. And I wouldn't have ever moved forward with the bill if it wasn't everything that the president wanted. So whenever I saw Elon going after the bill, I'm like, this is not going to end well.
Yeah.
This is not a good thing. This bill cuts $1.69 trillion of mandatory spending. It's the largest cut in U.S. history by more than 400%. Doge, as much as I appreciate what Doge is doing and finding more efficiencies, in 5 months they cut $175 billion. Just the EV tax credits that we eliminated was $200 billion, Fawn.
Yeah.
$200 billion is what the EV tax credits were.
I don't want to subsidize electric cars. If you want one, pay for one.
There's no need. 80+% of the people who purchase electric cars make more than $100,000 a year. Why should they get a $7,500 tax credit for purchasing that car? You don't get it for purchasing, a gas-powered automobile. So it's not right. Treat everyone the same.
And I love that it makes permanent fixes, and I do mean permanent. Like they're not going to get changed; they will be changed forever to Medicaid and food stamps. And this may never come again. We have the people to do this thing right now. I know it only passed by one vote, but you know what? That's a majority. It's all it takes. It's going to be down party lines. I'm worried about Rand Paul and the Senate. It needs to pass.
We had to thread a very careful needle, and until the board was closed, I was talking to my colleagues to help get them across the finish line, and I'm doing the same thing in the United States Senate right now. I'm working with Leader Thune, Chairman Crapo, and all the different senators, meeting with them, trying to answer any questions and figure out how we can thread that needle to get at the president's desk. We're going to do it. Failure's not an option. This bill creates the most significant welfare reforms in the history of America, like what you were just referring to, requiring able-bodied, healthy men who have no children to actually get a job in order to qualify for any welfare benefits. I think that's a very, very normal, reasonable compromise. I think illegal immigrants should not be receiving government assistance. They're illegal. I think that makes sense. These are real, common sense, basic reforms that will save a lot of money for our country.
For me, you, and everybody else who's sick and tired of footing the bill and busting our butts, and then we're getting priced out of the insurance market because we can't afford it because we're paying so much in taxes. It's ridiculous. And for those of you who said, well, illegal immigrants are here now and they are people, I agree. And that's why I worked so hard to help some who I knew to get furniture for their house and to help them be comfortable while they're here because they're here. And once they have to leave, then they have to leave. And that's just the way that it goes. I get that they're people, but I don't want to pay for everything. I don't want to.
They're not. We got to take care of U.S. citizens first and foremost. When we have veterans that are not getting the services that I believe that they're owed, that's a problem. And so we need to make sure that we prioritize the right things within government. And this is what we're doing. We're realigning prioritization of the U.S. citizen versus people who are not citizens. The tax cuts that's in this bill, it's making permanent all of Trump's successful 2017 tax cuts.
Yay.
But it also increases the child tax credit. I mean, we have 70,000 families in our congressional district that benefit from the child tax credit. But we also increased the standard deduction, which 97% of the people in the 8th district, that's how they file their taxes. And so by increasing that, it lowers your taxes. And these are just basic things. We did that with the senior deduction the same way. And then you look at permanency of the small business deduction. These are big wins for farmers and small businesses in our area.
They are. So one of the listeners wants to know if the getting rid of the tax on tips and overtime would be permanent as well.
The elimination of the no tax on tips, no tax on overtime is for 4 years. It's throughout the President Trump's administration. The no tax on tips cost roughly $70 billion, and the no tax on overtime was $124 billion.
Mm-hmm. Billions a
just
lot
for
of money.
Those 4 years.
And just so you know, folks, that's money that you're going to get to keep in your pocket. I know a lot of people are very excited about that, and they're not going to want to vote for somebody who's going to take that away from them in 4 years. So that's a good thing, if you ask me.
I'll tell you, the folks in our district are going to benefit so greatly from this bill. I actually took pay stubs of people in this district, electric co-op linemen, and showing how much they work overtime and how can we make this to maximize just normal Americans that have real quality tax relief, and that's the provisions that we put within this bill. It will provide real relief for those linemen that was putting electric back on whenever 30 tornadoes hit our congressional district.
Yeah.
That will provide relief for those police officers who are working overtime, or the firefighters, or the EMTs. So this is really good news.
It is good news. And I've got about a minute and a half, but I can't let you go without talking about the trans sports and girls in sports. There are some states, Oregon included, they're just not listening. They're not doing it. This needs to be a permanent mandate that there are no biological males allowed in female sports ever for any reason.
Totally agree. This is something that we have passed out of the House. We need to make sure it's in federal statute, because this is one way that you're discriminating against women like you've never seen before. The fact that a man can say that they're a woman and then win all these different sports is absolutely ridiculous and unacceptable. And for feminists not to be exploding and getting upset about this, I don't understand it.
I don't either, because we've got these girls who won't even take the podium with them, and then the national news is making fun of these girls. I'm like, I wouldn't stand up there either. I mean, these boys who identify as women, fine, so be it. Live your life the way you want to, but don't take away opportunities from girls. They're basically mediocre boys who suck at their sport, who have to, compete against girls so that they can win. That's basically who they are. So if we need to create a category where trans athletes all compete against each other, I am fine with that. That works for me. Let your dysphoria take you to your own category. Just stop removing the opportunities for girls.
Exactly. Amen to that one, Fawn.
Yeah. Well, me and you agree on just about everything, so there's that. I do want more of my money, so please tell President Trump thank you, and I hope this all passes. Tell Rand Paul that a lot of us, we really support him in such a big way and his common sense, but we need this bill to pass. Just tell him, from the people of Missouri, we're begging him to look at this through our eyes and not just his, that we really, really need to have more of our own money to get this economy rolling again. It's just the facts.
You can count on it. I'm friends with Senator Paul. We've had a lot of good discussions, and I just try to convince my colleagues that sometimes you don't get everything that you want. Typically, most of the time, you don't get everything that you want. And, we have to find reasonable steps to move forward. So
Preach.
let's
I
get
never
there.
get what I want. Yeah, there's even a song about it. All right, Jason Smith, Missouri Congressman. You still need to tell Trump to get on my show. I'm going to bug you about that till the day I die. All right. Thanks, Jason.
We'll work on it. See you,
Okay,
Paul.
talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thanks.